Good evening. Welcome to the Falls Township Board of Supervisors meeting for Monday, April 20th. We'll begin with the pledge of the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Welcome to the Falls Township Board of Mrs. Pullen, can you call the roll?
Mr. Galloway,
Here.
Mr. Brasky,
Here.
Mr. Dents,
Here.
Mr. Rocco,
Here.
Mr. Palmer.
Here.
All right, thank you. Everyone's going to please bear with us. This is obviously new to all of us. It's a unique situation, but we're going to try and get through it. We have a lot of items on our agenda tonight. Item number 1 is public comment. Do we have any names for public comment at this time?
There is no public comment at this time.
All right, that might be a firm ever in Falls, but item number 2, consider resolution authorizing the participation of Falls Township in the Municipal Police COVID-19 Task Force. Mr. Takita, can you take us through that?
Yes. Presented before you is a consideration of a resolution authorizing participation of Falls Township in a intergovernmental cooperative agreement with the Police COVID-19 Task Force.
This basically just allows our police to go to other municipalities that are needed. So far, our police forces have been in good shape and hasn't been needed. I know Middletown, they've been pretty banged up. They have several officers that have tested positive, several in quarantine. But so far, they haven't really needed help. But this just gives us the ability to help them if they need it. Do we have a motion, or we're doing this by resolution?
This is a resolution. The resolution number would be 2020-13.
All right, is there a motion to approve resolution 2020-13?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution. I didn't hear the resolution number actually.
2020.
13.
2013. Make a motion to approve resolution 2013.
I second that motion.
Mr. Rocco, can you pull the board?
Yes, Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer,
Yes.
All right, item number 3. Consider ratification of payments for the March bill list. I guess we canceled our meeting in March, so we have to pay the bills. We did that by a voice vote when Mr. Takita called us. We just have to ratify that. The bill list was $1,843,992.75. Almost $1 million of that in payroll. But is there a motion to pay the bills for March?
I'll make a motion at this time to pay the bills for March.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rocco can pull the board.
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer.
Yes.
All right. Also, back on March 20th, we declared a state of emergency, and we need to ratify that as well. We did it on the 20th, April 3rd, April 10th, and April 17th. So do we have a motion to ratify the declaration of emergency on all 4 dates?
Will the motion be for all the declarations at once?
You can make the motion to adopt all of them at once, but you should read off the specific dates.
Okay, the dates were March 20th, April 3rd, April 10th, and April 17th. And we already have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, and John Palmer.
Yes.
Item number 5, consider the collective bargaining agreement with the International Union of Operating Engineers and the Public Works Department. This is basically the new agreement between the township and the Public Works Department. This was negotiated through the end of last year. And this just approves that agreement. The biggest thing in this agreement on the township's end is that they switched healthcare plans to the new healthcare plan. And just for comparison, this year in February, it was a 1-month savings of $30,000, which, you know, it's going to fluctuate month to month, but it's going to be a significant savings for the township. And this was a big one. Everybody was happy. It's a fair agreement. I guess we need to take comment on this. Is that correct, Mike Clark?
Yes, it is.
All right, is there a motion to open public comment?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, any public comment on this item?
Mr. Mariani out there?
We have no public comment on this item.
All right, thank you. A motion to close public comment.
Before we close, I just want to ask if we should be, you know, because this is the first time, should we be given at least a minute for someone to call in?
We have been putting the phone number on the screen and giving people a chance to call in during the agenda items. So we are doing that. Also, I would like the people who are commenting within the meeting to unmute their video as they're making their comments. So we have no public comment at this time.
Okay, at this time, I'll make a motion to approve the Public Works contract.
And Mr. Dents, that should be subject to final approval from the Solicitor's Office regarding the language in the agreement.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the contract subject to negotiation with Lauren Gallagher and the solicitors.
I'll second that motion.
All right, Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, and John Palmer.
Yes.
Consider item number 6, consider adopting ordinance amending a non-uniform pension plan administered by the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System pursuant to Article 4 of the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement Law. Basically, this is all the non-contract employees, if I'm not mistaken, are going to move over to a new plan. This is often. Any comment on that, Mr. Takita?
The new pension plan would not cost the township any more money. The contribution is still the same as it was in the previous plan. There'd be no loss of plan benefits with the employees, and they would be given a monthly annuity.
Thank you. Any board comment needed? Any public comment? Mr. Kennedy, do we have any public comment for this item?
There's no public comment for this item at this time.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this move?
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance amending the non-uniform pension plan.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer.
Yes.
And that would be ordinance number 2020-1.
Thank you. Item number 7, we're going to consider bids for tree trimming and removal of tree services in Falls Township. This is basically removing and trimming trees that have been marked as dead in the township. There's a lot of them down in the park. We began this last year. I forget how many trees removed last year, but it's an ongoing project. Mr. Takita, do you want to go through this?
On Wednesday, March 11th, Township representatives opened up sealed bids for tree trimming and removal on township properties. We had 2 separate companies come in. One was Jimmy's Tree and Landscape Contractors, with their rates being for half day $975, full day rate of $1,780 per hour. Emergency hourly rate is $330 per hour. Their crane hourly rate was $240 per hour. Kent's Quality Tree Service came in with a half-day rate of $880 per hour, full day rate of $1,760 per hour, emergency hourly rate of $268 per hour, and the crane hourly rate of $130 per hour. Based on the bid results, Kent's Quality Tree Service is the lowest responsive bidder for the tree trimming contract. The board is asked to consider issuing a notice of intent to award the contract to Kent's Quality Tree Service.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board? Mr. Galloway?
No.
Boraski?
No, I got none at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes, do you know how much we budgeted for this? Because this is just the cost for labor.
At this time, I don't know. I can find that number out.
Okay, that was all I wanted to know, how many. It was, I think we spent between 70 and 100,000 last year on trees, so I'm assuming it's probably around the same.
Mr. Palmer, any questions or comment?
No.
All right, is there a motion?
At this time, I'll make a motion to approve the bid to Kent's Quality Tree Service for trimming and removal service in Falls Township for 2020.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rocco, can you pull the board?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, item number 8, consider the 2020-2021 stone and asphalt bids for Falls Township. Mr. Takita.
The Bucks County Consortium road material bid was opened by New Britain Township, and the results were forwarded to Falls Township. I would recommend the Board of Supervisors award the consortium road materials bid to 3 different companies. The stone and aggregate items to Eureka Stone Quarry, the blacktop and binder material to Hanson Aggregates BMC Incorporated, and the QPR cold patch material to American Bituminous.
All right, thank you. Any board comment at this time, Mr. Kennedy? Or I'm sorry.
There's no public comment at this time.
I'm sorry, I said board comment. Thank you for fixing that for me. Any board comment needed or questions?
I have none.
None?
None.
I have none.
Nothing.
Is there a motion then?
I'll make a motion to approve the Bucks County Consortium road materials bid with the awards, the 3 different companies listed by Mr. Takita.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski.
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes. John Palmer.
Yes.
Item number 9, consider proposal for professional inspection and construction administration services from Jones Engineering Associates for the 2020 Falls Township Road Improvement Program. Mr. Jones is here to answer any questions. This is basically Simons Drive, Gilbert Drive, then down the Burgess Manor area, Decoud, Burgess Avenue, Burgess Road, Hamilton Avenue, Elbow Lane, Walnut Lane, Lafayette Avenue. Any board questions or comments?
I have nothing at this time.
No questions.
I have none.
No questions.
All right, this is just ongoing, our road program for this year. Is there any public comment at this time?
There's no public comment at this time.
Our ratings are going to be way down. Is there a motion then?
Mr. Chairman, at this point, I will make a motion for, to approve Joe Jones Engineering, the proposal for professional inspections and construction, administrative services for the 2020 road program.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes. John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, item 10 is consider advertising, authorization for advertising the 2020 Falls Township Road Improvement Program. Any questions from board members?
No questions.
No questions.
Any board comment or public comment? I'm sorry.
There's no public comment at this time.
Is there a motion to advertise the 2020 road program?
I'll make a motion to advertise the 2020 Falls Township Road Program.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rocco?
This is the 2020 or 2021?
We're advertising the 2020 at this time.
I'm sorry, no, it's authorization to advertise the 2021 road program.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, this is next
It
year.
includes Pinewood Drive, Willow Drive, and Elderberry Drive.
Thank you. Okay, does the motion stand?
Could I make a clarification, Mr. Boraski? The advertisement is for what we're calling the 2020 road program, which are the roads that Chairman Dents identified. The remaining portion of Hedgerow Woods and the Burgess Manor section.
That was the last agenda item, isn't it?
No, that was for the professional services for advertising. We're on number 10 right now.
We're not, okay, we're not on Elderberry Drive and Pinewood Drive, Willow Drive.
No, we're back on in Burgess Manor and Hedgerow Woods, Simons, Gilbert, Decoud, Burgess Avenue, Burgess Road, Hamilton Avenue, Elbow Lane, Walnut Lane, and North Lafayette.
So does the motion stand as the 2020 road program and road improvements?
We're advertising, the motion is made to advertise the 2020 road program, correct? And then we need a second.
And I second.
Okay, Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes. John Palmer.
Yes.
All right. Now we're on item 11, which is a proposal for engineering services again for the 2021 program. This one is Pinewood Drive, Willow Drive, Elderberry Drive. Total project cost $1,093,500. Mr. Jones, do you want to take us through this quickly?
Mr. Jones, you're on mute.
I apologize for that. The proposal is for the design services for the remaining sections of what we're calling the full depth reconstruction portion of the road, the ongoing road program that's been, I guess, for the last 20 years we've been doing this. So this represents the roads that we haven't done from the original roadmaster list, and our intention is moving forward after this design and construction scope that we would be on a maintenance mill and overlay program.
Thank you. Any questions for board members?
Yeah, Mr. Jones, the drives are mostly the only things remaining in Levittown, right?
That's correct.
So, total cost of this is pretty high because of the mileage, I guess, if you would, or whatever.
It is, Mr. Rocco. The length of the drives is a significant portion. The survey portion is higher than normal because of that. But it won't likely be spent in 1 year because it's going to be at least a 2-year project. But the ability of approving all of them now gives us the option of identifying the road that needs the most, the quickest improvement. So we're looking at designing them all comprehensively so that we can prioritize them better.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, the total cost $1,093,500. Any other questions from board members?
No questions.
Any public comment needed?
There's no public comment this time.
All right. Is there a motion then to approve the professional services for the 2021 road program?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to authorize advertisement for the 2021 road program.
I second that motion.
Hold on, we're not advertising at this time. We're just approving the professional services.
All right, sorry about that, but my memorandum says authorized to advertise.
Yeah.
All right, can we take a brief recess at this time? Mr.
Back
Clark,
in.
is it possible?
It certainly is. Technologically, your moderator has to tell you how to do it. But yeah, if you want to take a break to figure out where the little glitch is, we can do that.
Yeah, let's do that right now, please.
Sure, we'll take a 5 minutes?
Yeah, that should be fine.
5 minutes. All right. Everyone, please mute your videos and your microphones. Mute your video.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that delay. A little bit of confusion we had to clean up. We're on item number 11. It's the 2021 through 2023 road program, which is Pinewood Drive, Willow Drive, Elderberry Drive. We do have a list here of what we budgeted for that, but we're not approving that tonight. Tonight, we're going to pay the engineering fees, which is, these are, like Mr. Rocco said, these are very long drives. These are the drives that were never done originally when the sections were done. So the engineering fees, including surveying, mapping, the core samples, the engineering design, the bid administration, total fees are $1,093,500. We had a motion and a second made. Can we amend that motion, Mr. Brasky and Mr. Galloway?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to amend my motion and at this point, make a motion to consider proposals for professional engineering services from Joe Jones Engineering Associates for the 2021 Township of Falls Road Improvements Program.
I second that motion.
Thank you. Mr. Rocco, can you, or do we need public comment or we're past that now, Mr. Clark?
There's no public comment.
You would normally ask for public comment, but there is no public participating at this time.
That's right. The public is participating, just no one's called in. So, Mr. Rocco, can you poll the board, please?
Yes. Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes. John Palmer.
Yes.
We apologize for that. This is the technology confusion. On the item number 2012, or item number 12, consider proposal from Remington Vernick Engineers to provide engineering services to adaptive traffic system projects. We have Mr. Derek Kennedy here from RVB to answer any questions. Can Mr. Takita explain to us what this is?
Yes, before you is a proposal to provide engineering services for the adaptive traffic signaling system. The project will include installation of a traffic adaptive signal system covering up to 23 intersections. The goal of implementing this new technology is to better manage the township's traffic operations and to reduce recurring congestion in the area. The system upgrades would be installed on the following key corridors: Lincoln Highway, which is Business Route 1, Tyburn Road, Oxford Valley Road, and West Trenton Avenue. The Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission has awarded funding to the project through the Federal Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Improvement Program. The CMAQ program includes a total budget of $1,355,900 with an 80-20 funding split. The federal portion includes $1,084,720 with a $271,180 township match.
Thank you, Mr. Takita. The one intersection that does have the adaptive signaling now is at Lincoln Highway and Oxford Valley Road, I believe. So, any questions for Mr. Kennedy from board?
There's no public comment at this time.
Yeah, Mr. Kennedy, can you just give us, it says up to 23 intersections?
Yeah, that's right. So it's 23 intersections. The corridors that were identified were Oxford Valley Road, Route 1, Lincoln Highway, Tyburn Road, and West Trenton Road. There'd be a priority ranking there. Oxford Valley Road and Lincoln Highway would be the first priorities to get done as part of that project. And just so everyone knows, the difference or the real improvement that this project would bring is the adaptive system. What that means is the signals optimize themselves within real time. So we'd have technology running out there. Instead of running a time of day pattern and a predictive timing plan, this would be reactive to what's happening out there, moment to moment. So a much more efficient system.
So it's the brains, it's not the signals themselves.
Now, and overall, you won't notice too much as far as the signal. The same poles, the signal heads will be there. It's more the software and equipment inside the cabinet and the detection that is what will be upgraded. And then we'll also be doing a lot of fiber optic interconnection, running new communication lines on those corridors.
How long will it take to do these, all 23?
Our schedule right now will probably be through the design and permitting the end of this year. So you'd be looking at construction in the spring or summer of 2021.
And they complete in 2021 as well?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. All right, appreciate you giving some insight there. Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you.
Mr. Kennedy, can Public Works work on this, or do they have to go get training for this?
Oh, there will be some training, and then that's included in our estimate for the $1.3 million when we went after the grant. There's a company called Rhythm in Sync that runs or creates the software that we'll be using. They provide training as part of their installation package. So there will be some training. One of the benefits of this, the system will be tied in electronically to the PennDOT traffic control unit. So they monitor their system 24/7. So if an alarm goes off, something goes down, there's someone at PennDOT that can troubleshoot that remotely now that these signals will be connected. And then the township could also have access to that system as well. So there would be some training involved to be able to monitor and operate that system.
Thank you.
Any other questions from board members?
No questions.
Any public comment at this time?
No public comment.
All right, and the total cost for the township, it's a $1,355,900 project with an 80-20 split, so $271,180 on our end. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to consider the proposal from Remington Vernick Engineers to provide engineering service for the adaptive traffic signal system project.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes. John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item number 13, consider proposal for renewal of GIS software. Mr. Takita.
Yes, we have a renewal quotation from Esri to renew the contract that we have with them for the existing GIS system. We were in the process of doing our road mapping to get the system up and running in the township. It's been delayed slightly because of this situation, but we are looking at moving forward with it remotely. Total cost of the renewal is $6,927.
All right, thank you. Can you explain to those watching that don't know what a GIS system is, exactly what this is?
GIS stands for Geographic Information Systems. It's an information gathering computer program where we create different layers, and within the township, we can have our zoning, floodplain, grading, sewer systems, emergency management infrastructure, all layered in on these maps. And it helps us as far as managing our resources, performing our even just day-to-day tasks and tracking projects through this whole program.
All right, thank you, Mr. Takita. Any questions from board members for Mr. Takita?
No questions.
I have none.
All right, is there any public comment needed at this time, Mr.?
There's no public comment.
All right, is there a motion then to renew the contract for GIS system in the amount of $6,927?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rocco, can you pull the board?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes. John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item number 14, consider a quote from Foster Digital Media Productions LLC for replacement of audio and equipment for the public meeting room. Mr. Takita.
We have a proposal in front of you tonight for upgrades to the audio and video equipment for the Board of Supervisors room. After a review of the existing conditions, Foster Digital Media came up with an assessment and proposed upgrades to bring our system up into current standards.
All right, thank you. There's a long list here of everything from speakers, microphones. You may have seen some of our meetings where people come in to do a presentation and, you know, we're setting up a laptop in the middle of the room, no TVs. All this equipment that we would purchase is stuff that we could move. Should we build a new building? If we ever did that, renovate this building. This isn't something that's going to be thrown out next year. Dave Killer is here from Foster Digital Media to answer any questions. Are there any questions from board members?
Hey, Dave, Jeff Rocco here. Now I reviewed the proposal. Does it include two monitors as well? Big TVs?
Yes, we're going to mount one monitor to the wall here on an arm, articulating arm. And then we have another one that we're going to put on a cart that can be moved around the room. So if we have smaller meetings, it can be used for that also.
That sounds good. I think we're long overdue with our technology in that meeting room. So thank you.
Any other questions? And the total amount is $37,746.07. I won't go over it item for item. It's 32 items, including shipping and everything else. Is there any public comment at this time?
There's no public comment.
Is there a motion to approve the proposal from Foster Digital Media for $37,746.07?
So moved.
I second it.
Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, and John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item number 15, we have to ratify the bus quotes for the summer camp for 2020. At this time, we're not even sure the camp's happening. We're hoping everything's back to normal in time for the camp to start. Mr. Takita, can you take us through this?
Since the last Board of Supervisors meeting, we received 3 bus quotes from Yellowbird Bus Company. They quoted us a total fee of $7,180. They were the highest of all 3 companies we received quotes from for the scheduled trips. The lowest bid that we had was from David Thompson Transportation in the amount of $6,496. Additionally, we did contact Pennsylvania School District, and we were told they did not provide bus services to the camps in the summer months. So we are recommending David Thomas Transportation handle our bus trips for the 2020 summer camps.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from Mr. Takita?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Mr. Takita or Mr. Clark, but I want to make sure that we're not, should the camp not happen, that we're not obligated financially in any way.
We are not. This is an as needed basis. So if the camp doesn't occur, if we're not able to go forward, we won't be responsible for any fees.
No deposits or anything like that then?
No.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Takita or Mr. Clark? Any public comment needed?
There's no public comment.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the quote from David Thomas Transportation in the amount of $6,496 for the summer camp bus service? I'll make the motion.
I think I lost the sound.
Jeff Boraski, can you hear us now? Yes, he can't. Boraski,
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve this.
I'll second it.
All right, Mr. Rocco, we need to get Mr. Boraski back. Can you hear us, Jeff Boraski?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you guys hear me? It just came back on.
yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Galloway made the motion. Mr. Palmer seconded it for the bus services. Mr. Rocco's going to pull the board.
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, and John Palmer.
Yes.
All right. Item number 16 is consider the purchase of pool chemicals and suppliers for the Pinewood Pool through the Bucksmont Aquatic Consortium. Mr. Takita.
We received final bid results for the proposed purchase of pool chemicals for the upcoming 2020 season. The township is still a member of the Bucksmont Aquatic Consortium, and the bid has gone through Hatfield Township once again, which has been the custom for several years now. Buckman's Incorporated has won the bid for these services. Attached to the memo is a spreadsheet of the breakdown of costs. This was run through our legal staff, and they've approved the numbers. The results are broken down as follows. We have liquid sodium hypochlorite bulk at $1.84 per gallon, hydrochloric acid, a 5-gallon carboy at $20 per carboy, soda ash, 50 pounds per bag at $21.50 per bag, sodium bicarbonate at $18.50 per bag, calcium chloride at $20 per bag. This is a slight increase since in the 2019 numbers.
All right. This is a standard item we do every year. Any questions for Mr. Takita?
Done.
We can't hear you, Mr. Palmer.
Sorry about that. I'm going to piggyback on Mr. Rocco's comments on the last subject. And I know this is the consortium and this is just a price per bag and carboy and whatnot, but are we committed to purchasing so much if we decide not to open the pool?
Again, there's not a minimum purchase. It is an amount that we will, it's as whatever we use. So if we don't open the pool this year and don't have the need for any of these chemicals, we won't be spending any money.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
No questions.
Any public comment needed?
There's no public comment.
All right. Is there a motion to join the consortium for the chemicals and suppliers for pool stuff?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to consider the purchase of pool chemicals and suppliers for the Pinewood Pool through the Bucksmont Aquatic Consortium.
I second that motion.
All right. Motion made and seconded. Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Item 17, consider agreement with Millennium Strategies LLC for grant writing opportunities for Falls Township. For years, we would get grants, we'd look for grants for certain items. And there's a lot of stuff out there that we spend money on that we found out that we were eligible for grants that we didn't take advantage of for whatever reason. So this company here is a grant writer that will seek out whatever we need. And Mr. Takita can explain this to us a little bit better.
Yeah, before you, it's a proposal for our Millennium Strategies for grant writing and consulting services. Some of the proposed services that they will provide would be to create a strategic plan. They would create a strategic plan for grant research and funding, and they would go through each department and determine where upcoming projects would be coming and where they could possibly get some funding sources for that. They would research all available opportunities and provide notification to us of any possible grant opportunities that may arise, even if it's not something that we had already assumed was out there. They would complete all the grant writing for us as well. They would provide monthly reporting detailing all the activities that have been undertaken, and then they'd have meeting attendance as required. The total amount for the services would actually be on a monthly retainer, not to exceed, a $3,000 a month retainer with a not to exceed amount of $36,000 per year. All fees include, the fees include all travel time and expenses, as well as attendance at all meetings.
Thank you. They came highly recommended from some of our neighboring municipalities. One neighboring municipality, they found over $500,000 in grants for them last year. So it sounds like a lot of money when you hear about it, but the amount of money that we potentially will save is significant. Any other questions? Any questions for Mr. Takita?
Yeah, so is it a fixed fee, not to exceed $36,000 a year?
It's $3,000 per month as a retainer, but they would not exceed the $36,000 per year.
So if we were to get $1.5 million in grants, it would cost us $36,000?
Correct.
Good numbers there, huh?
Mr. Takita, is this a 1-year contract, or is this just for the remainder of the 2020 year?
I believe this is a 1-year contract.
I was under the impression it's month to month and we can cancel at any time. Is that not correct? Ms. Gallagher or Mr. Clark?
That is correct. We would just have to give 14 days notice to cancel.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions from board members? For professionals or Mr. Takita? Is there any public comment needed at this time?
There's no public comment.
All right. Is there a motion to award the grant writing contract with Millennium Strategies for $3,000 a month?
Move, Mr. Chairman.
I second the motion.
All right, a motion is made and seconded. Mr. Rocco.
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, and John Palmer.
Yes.
All right. Item 18, consider a proposal for restoration of the Doughboy statue located in historical Fallsington. This is something that Mr. Palmer brought to our attention. The need is, that is anyway, and Mr. Takita, I believe, found us someone that can do the restoration. Mr. Takita, can you walk us through this again?
The Doughboy statue located over in Fallsington had just due to just exposure, significant deterioration. Krellick Conservation is proposing to come in and clean the statue and the pedestal. They will also provide it with a sealant that will help reduce the amount of deterioration that will occur in the future. There's some cracking occurring in different parts of the statue that they will reinforce throughout the statue. They'll also provide it with a cleaning solution that will reduce the amount of biological deterioration and growth that's occurring on the statue. The total fee for these services is $9,800. They do have one additional option because the tip of the rifle barrel is broken off. They do propose for an additional $900 to restore that portion of the barrel using a color-matched restoration mortar.
Thank you, Mr. Takita. Oh, there we have a picture of the doughboy. Any questions for Mr. Takita from board members?
So is it something at this time, Mr. Takita, we would want to add on if the board is in favor? We would want to approve the $900 extra at this point?
That's the question, yes.
Yes. At this point, we would want to include the $900 for the barrel.
Any other questions for Mr. Takita?
No.
Any public comment at this time?
There's no public comment.
Thank you. All right, is there a motion to award the Doughboy statue restoration to Kralik Conservation LLC in the amount of $10,700, which would include the gun restoration from his rifle?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda, item number 19 is consider resolution designating April as Safe Digging Month. Mr. Takita.
This resolution is in support of the Pennsylvania One Call system, and it designates April as Pennsylvania's 811 Safe Digging Month. And it encourages all excavators and homeowners to dial 811 at least 3 business days in advance of any excavation project, including small ones such as planting trees or installing mailbox posts, decks, or swimming pools.
Mr. Dents, or everyone, have we done this before? This is new.
I've never heard of this before.
I can't remember this one.
What resolution number would this be?
This would be resolution number 2020-14.
All right.
Mr. Jones, are you on? Can you hear us? Is this something new through PA One Call that you're aware of?
I am not aware of anything new with the PA One Call. I've never heard of this either.
How did we get notified of it?
The Pennsylvania One Call system, they sent out just a general notice asking for support. There's no obligation or no responsibility on our end to do anything except for encourage that, provide public notification in the form of pamphlets and educational pieces.
It's not a terrible. I mean, a lot of people don't even know that by digging in their front yard and putting in a mail post, they could really do some damage.
Right, and there's no cost to them for these service bills.
Correct. Yeah, there's no cost to them. You just call and make sure that when you dig in a certain spot, you're not going to cut into a gas line or anything like that.
Right.
Or
Do
even
we
worse.
put any of this information on our website? Is there any heads up for people to call 811 if they're doing this? Can we maybe get it on our website?
Yes, we would do all of that.
Okay.
All right. So is there a motion to approve resolution 2020-14 declaring April as Safe Digging Month?
I'll make that motion, Chairman.
I'll second that motion.
All right. A motion made and seconded. Mr. Rocco, can you pull the board?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, item number 20 on the agenda was appointing various boards and commissions. We're gonna skip over that right now at this time because we haven't had any meetings and the governor's new order doesn't reopen anything until early May at the earliest, so it doesn't look like we're having any meetings anytime soon. So we'll move on to item number 21, which is the minutes from the February 18th meeting. Any questions or corrections for Mrs. Poulin?
I have none.
Excellent minutes as always, Mrs. Poulin.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Seconded.
All right, Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dent,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco. I'll abstain. I was out on work, so I was not on that meeting that day. John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That takes us to item 22, engineers report. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you, you have the engineers report for the month of March 2020. As you can see, we had 2 new land development submissions. One of them labeled as KA at Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania, or LP, and the second one is Al Rose Steel. The KA at Fairless Hills project is a minor subdivision and zoning change proposed at the Rosas site on 500 Lincoln Highway. The Al Rose Steel is a 54,000 square foot steel processing facility at Progress Drive and Steel Road. Those were submitted during the month of March and are currently under review. The development projects and earth disturbance projects with updates are, as usual, identified in red. I'll touch on a couple of them for you and make it brief. The St. Joe's project is complete except for the wearing course and some work they have to do at the bridge between Thorn Ridge and their project site. Air Gas has a waiver to continue to operate, but they are not. But they are submitting an amended final plan in the near future because there's some minor modifications that they'd like the board to consider. The Campy Components project on Kresge Road is complete. We are in the process of obtaining an as-built so that we can provide them with a certificate of completion. The McGill composting project is in the final permit, Mylar, and developer agreement stages. We do have Mylars, which Mr. Takita will mention in his comments, ready for board signature. Britton Industries, just in general, there's not much construction activity going on, obviously, for obvious reasons. But Britton Industries has the majority of their improvements complete, and they brought their site into good working order. The remaining 4, MM Metals, Petrucci Track, the KA at Fairless Hills, and Alvo Steel are all under review, pending reconvening the Planning Commission. So they'll be ready when the Planning Commission reconvenes. In terms of the earth disturbance projects, the Henry residence was problematic for a while, but it has since received safety fencing, and we continue to monitor that for environmental issues. The NT4 site at USS Real Estate down in the KIPC is very close to a pre-construction meeting. In fact, they're in the process of requesting that, but we're working out the details on how to allow these folks to start construction, working with the solicitor's office. We probably will schedule the pre-con, maybe hold it virtually, but they won't be issued any permits until we're given the authority to do that from the solicitor's office. KPK Development, they're operating under a waiver and they continue to work on the quarry site. The Gillespie project is an earth disturbance and a future amended final plan. They want earth disturbance approval to build a concrete pad on top of which they intend to place a prefabricated building. So we had that in 2 pieces for them, the earth disturbance for the concrete pad and an amended final plan that's been submitted, but that was submitted in April for placement of the building. That's the highlight for the development projects. In terms of our township projects, I know, Mr. Chairman, you mentioned that the Quaker Penn Park docks were installed, I believe, on Friday and Saturday of last week. So they are in place and safe. And then we talked a lot about the road program, so I'll just mention that the road program that's under construction now is is close to completion. The contractor is working on driveway restorations, and that was continuing under safety requirements to have everything backfilled so that there weren't any safety hazard for the residents. Since then, we've received a waiver to continue the project. So next up will be driveway restoration, topsoil, and seeding. We're about to start the seeding versus sod program that we have, where we'll issue letters to the residents, give them the option to select sod if they choose to. And we spoke about the 2020 road program on the engineer's report. It might be a little bit confusing because that references 2020, but that's for the design. So the next month's engineer's report will clarify the various stages of work for the different road programs. And that's all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from board members for Mr. Jones?
I have none. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
No comments.
All right, do we have the motion to accept the engineer's report for?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I second that.
All right, motion made and seconded. Mr. Rocco, can you pull the board?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes?
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, item 23, bill list. The big bill list this month, $2,563. I'm sorry, $2,563,106.27. Any highlights anybody wants to talk about? Any questions or comments on the bill list?
No,
Almost 900,000 of that's payroll. No questions. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Rocco?
Brian Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Boraski,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes, John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That takes us to the police report from the police chief. Chief Wilcox was unable to attend tonight, so he sent me a memo that I'm going to read. Has a few items on it. One, he did a I apologize again. The technology is holding me back. I have it here. I printed it, but I don't know what I did with it. All right. Our booking center income for 2019 total was $37,939.75. After the governor's stay-at-home orders are lifted, Coffee with a Cop will be rescheduled. The drug take-back and shredder events were to be held this month have been postponed. Please keep an eye out on the website and social media for new dates. 5 officers were hired in February. Currently, 4 are in the FTO, which is the Field Training Officer Program. Critical staff is working remotely, and information on how to obtain reports and/or assistance can be found on our Facebook, Crime Watch, and our website. While the pandemic is taking place, we have implemented an online incident report by way of our Crime Watch page for non-emergency calls for service, which can be linked from our police department section of our website. Our officers remain healthy. We've been using every precaution to keep them safe from the virus. We'd also like to thank the local businesses and several of our residents who have generously donated supplies and food for our officers. It's very much appreciated. And that's all he had. That's the end of the police report. We have item number 24 I skipped, and I apologize. Mr. Clark, can you comment on the executive sessions that we've had since our last meeting? We can't hear you, Mr. Clark. No, you're muted. You have to hit the space bar or something.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
On March 24th, an executive session was held via conference call. There was no deliberation and no official action. On March 25th, there was an executive session via a video conference. Again, there was no deliberation or official action. On April 6th, there was an executive session via video conference with Kelly Sullivan, the township's labor attorney, regarding personnel matters. And then there was a 5 p.m. executive session with the Board of Supervisors and the township engineer for miscellaneous updates. Again, no deliberation or official action was taken. On April 10th, there was an executive session via conference call regarding the Elcon litigation. And earlier today, there was an executive session via video conference regarding various personnel matters.
Thank you. That takes us to manager comment. Mr. Takita.
Yes, we have escrow release requests from Jones Engineering Associates for the following projects. We have Patient First Langhorne, which is at 100 Lincoln Highway, for a total release amount of $27,362.51. This would be release number 3. Britain Industries on 1 Mile Lane. We have 2 releases, one for $19,735.29, and then another one for $119,431.80. One for St. Joseph's Court on New Falls Road for $48,645. That is release number 12. And then we have Campy Components for $209,815.01. That would be their first release. And based on Jones Engineering's inspections of each project, work has been completed to their satisfaction, and the amounts are recommended for release.
All right, thank you. Any questions from Mr. Jones or Mr. Takita about the escrow releases? Mr. Clark, we can do these all at once?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. All right, is there a motion to pay these 4 escrow releases?
I'll make that motion to approve the escrow release, all 4 at the same time.
I second that motion.
Mr. Rocco, can you pull the board, please?
Galloway,
Yes.
Jeff Brasky,
Yes.
Jeff Dents. Jeff Dents?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Jeff Rocco, yes. John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Anything else, Mr. Takita?
Yes, we have donation requests. The board's being asked to consider the following donation requests. Historic Fosington Incorporated for Historical Fosington Day for $6,000, and Townships Against Graffiti, which is TAG, for another $6,000. These funds were included in the 2020 budget for these donations.
All right, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Fosington Day is. Township Against Graffiti, that's an annual donation we make, and these guys do a great job. If you see graffiti that's new, anywhere in the town, even if it's on private property, on somebody's fence, you can give us a call. Mr. Takita will call TAG. They come out very quickly and they do a great job of cleaning it up and removing it. So I think it's $6,000 is very well spent for the amount of work they do. If there's no questions then, is there a motion to approve these 2 donations for $12,000?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion made and seconded. Mr. Rocco, can you pull the?
Yes.
Jeff Brasky,
Yes.
Jeff Dents,
Yes.
Jeff Rocco, yes. John Palmer.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That's Mr. Takita. Keep going.
Final Mylars are signed by the applicant and are ready for the board's signature. These Mylars are for McGill Fairless Hills Composting Facility on 600 Tyburn Road. They'll be in the office, and I'll make arrangements for signatures for those Mylars. Just a couple of announcements. Both the Great Shredder event and the drug drop-off event were canceled. The Household Hazardous Waste Collection event for April was canceled. There's still a May 9th event scheduled. That cancellation is to be determined. And then lastly, we have 2 new businesses that opened for operations during the month of February. That would be 636 Lincoln Highway, Suite 13, Fairless Hills, PA. It's R&J Fashion Variety. And then at 910 Lincoln Highway, Morrisville, PA, we have KAP Auto Sales Incorporated. That is all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Takita. I don't know when, I know they just recently, I know Santucci's Pizza just opened in the past couple of weeks, since last time we were here on Lincoln Highway as well. They're in the shopping center where Cancun restaurant and the IHOP and all is. That takes us to item 27, board comment. Mr. Palmer, any comment?
Yeah, as far as getting back to the Doughboy, over the years, that's in a really horrible state of wear and tear between the acid rain and the pollution. It's in real bad shape. The company that came out and is doing the work did William Penn statue at Penwood School for Pennsbury. Plus, they do all of the monuments up in Gettysburg. So they're just not a power washing outfit. They are a complete historical reconstruction statue outfit. So I'm glad we're getting this thing moved ahead. I just wanted to thank everybody for their support on that. And I want to thank all of our employees deemed essential, from the police to our volunteer firefighters to our public works. Hats off to everybody. Everybody's hanging in there, and we're in this together, and can't say enough thanks to them and all the medical professionals. That's all. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Boraski, any comment?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I really just like to, just take the time to I hope everybody's hanging in there. It's a tough time, and there's a lot of things that the residents don't see that's in our township that's happening, and we have a lot of individuals and our employees and the professionals and the department heads. It seems like we got people working at home, and like flawlessly, this township has continued to operate. So just wanted to thank them here on this platform, and just hope everyone is staying safe and following the governor's orders. And I know soon we get the economy reopened and get back to work. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone.
Mr. Galloway. Can't hear you, Brian. You have to push the button.
Thank you. There's nothing I can really say that hasn't already been expressed, but stay safe and God bless. Thank you.
Mr. Rocco.
Yeah, I, of course, echo everyone's comments. One thing that we did quickly realize, or I quickly realized, was this whole thing is unscripted. What has happened and what is happening, there's no playbook for it. So we're learning along the way. We're doing the best we can. Our leadership in the township has been amazing. To Boraski's point, and Palmer's, of course, the workers from the police to the administration. It's just, just so hang in there. Things things will get back to something. I don't know. Everyone's saying, we just want to be back to normal. Not sure what normal means anymore, but just hang in there and reach out if you guys have any questions. Reach out to us. We're more than willing to try to answer them for you. So thank you for the support and be safe.
Thank you, Mr. Rocco. Yeah, like everyone else said, everybody's cooperation is appreciated. He hit a good point. There is no script for this. We're adapting as we go. We're taking the lead coming down from the county, as you can see. I know a lot of people weren't happy that we closed the parks when we did, which have now been reopened. But at the time, people just weren't, people weren't following the 6-foot distancing. They were on top of each other. There were groups practicing exercise classes in the park. We just, it was the right choice at the right time. The parks are open though. The boat ramp is open. I know a lot of people have been calling to get their permits. We appreciate everybody's cooperation again, and following the guidelines is all we can say. Just, follow the guidelines from the county on down. Keep in mind that as much as all of us are inconvenienced, a lot of the local businesses are struggling. The ones that stayed open, if you look on our Facebook page, you'll see a list of local restaurants and certain businesses that stayed open. We'll put that up on the website tomorrow, and you should really check them out. Some of them are offering some really, really good specials, and they can really appreciate your support. If you can't, go out there and buy something to eat, not your thing, maybe a gift card or something for the future, just to help keep them going. And like everyone else said, I talked to Mr. Takita, I guess it was a week or two ago, about how long, he's been here for a while, and he's only been here 4 months, and then he stepped up to be our township manager, and then this happened, and he's guided us through this like without a flaw, I think. And like Mr. Rocco said, the fact that there's no script, that he stepped right in, and with saying that, Rich DiPolito, our fire marshal, has stepped up tremendously as well, and hand in hand, the two of them have really guided us through all of this. There's a lot that goes on daily behind the scenes that people don't even realize in the township. People are working remotely, that they have to work through a lot of stuff, and we appreciate all their help. Hopefully our next meeting might be in person. We don't know yet at this point. We apologize for all the errors and stuff tonight, but this is all new. Some of us are technology challenged. Some of us are better at it than others. That's all I really have. Just everyone just be safe and keep following the guidelines, and hopefully this will be over sooner than later. And with that, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Have a good night.
I second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Mr. Clark, did you have something?
I do not.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.